In 2014, Sanjay Sharma had completed almost 25 years in big finance. He could have coasted from there to retirement, but instead, he did a 180-degree turn, reinvented himself as an entrepreneur, and founded iFinance.
India's economic prowess today is enabled by the growth of its medium and small-scale businesses, or MSMEs. Despite these businesses filled with talent and path-breaking ideas, MSMEs struggle to secure investments that can enable them to grow and become profitable. Sanjay Sharma conceived iFinance, an innovative solution for a close partnership with small businesses. This empowers them towards business success. iFinance goes beyond traditional lending by establishing collaborations that can empower and fulfill entrepreneurial aspirations. Guided by Sanjay Sharma's leadership, the team engages with clients. They try and understand businesses' specific needs and provide them with tailor-made solutions. Cultivating an ecosystem of trust and partnership, iFinance solutions go beyond mere financial transitions. Designed specifically for small businesses, iFinance offers flexible loan options, positioning itself as a trusted companion. iFinance's user-friendly digital platform provides small and medium businesses with the ability to manage their finances for seamless and hassle-free business growth. iFinance stands as a beacon of unwavering support for dreams, fueled by a steadfast belief in the untapped potential of every small business.
And now it's our greatest pleasure to welcome the guest of the show and founder of iFinance, Sanjay Sharma. Sanjay, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jasper.
We're delighted to be here amongst your wonderful team.
Certainly.
What a great place, what a perfect place to have a conversation. Now, when I was a child, I would do everything in my power to avoid maths homework.
Sure.
Right? But I gather you were the polar opposite. So when you were a young man in Billai, then in MP, now I think in Chhattisgarh, you go straight for this maths homework. Is that right?
Well, certainly. In fact, I used to rush back home after my school, throw my bag, open my maths notebook and start off with solving the problems there. And my mom used to be after me saying that, please have lunch, please have lunch. But for me, that was the big thing that I wanted to do for the day. So I have always been very happy with maths.
Okay, and could we say, I mean, it's too early in the conversation to conclude this, but could we say you have a fairly heavy right brain bias?
You could say that because I'm very good with numbers.
Yeah. Okay, so it's a great conversation in the sense that I'm useless at numbers and good at words. You can be the judge of that. So then we wind the clock forward a bit, Sanjay. IIT, IIM, maths prodigy, my words, right? So you're a parent's dream at this point. You go into a series of finance jobs, and then 25 years into this, you do a 180-degree turn and set up your own business. How on earth did that happen?
That's why I think part of it probably dates back to the time that I was brought up in a small town like Billai, which gave me the small town grounding into hard work, aspirations to do well. And at the same time, it was an industrial town, so there was a cosmopolitan way of living, a broad world.
Big engineering centers. Yeah.
So I think that is what has always driven me into saying that whatever the world has given to me, I need to also return back. And I've always dreamed that, when I have 10, 20 years of work left in me, I should get into a social impact space. And I think that is what has caused that big shift from a salaried job and a good job for 25 years. I came out and looked at starting something new.
Okay, so here, well, a lot of your IIT Bombay batchmates were on the first plane to New York or London or whatever. You were quite deliberately staying in India, right?
Certainly. I decided that I wanted to work for some time in India, and I took up a job with Tata Motors, and that was a great job. Could use my engineering skills.
And your dad's an engineer?
Yes, my dad too is an engineer, so I in a way followed in his steps. And after working there for 2 years, I went for further education for my management degree, and that was a transformation because I found that finance was something that I loved, which most engineers would hate. But I liked finance and marketing, and from that point onwards, I went into finance and banking.
Okay, and then, you know, it's well charted. You go up the ranks, HSBC, you're into Max, you then go to Dubai. But at some point, you know, as you were looking at the, you know, almost like the final furlong, you say to yourself, you want to set up a school.
Yeah, I had a dream that I wanted the social impact that I would create would be through a school that will educate the underprivileged children and give them the world-class quality of education. And that was a dream for quite some years.
Sort of a legacy giving back.
Yes, it is
part of it.
That. And when I came back to India in 2011-12, I did look at that, but then I realized that I have such a strong background in banking and finance that is the area that I can contribute the most.
Yeah.
And iFinance, which provides funds to micro enterprises, which are the excluded segment in the country, and they need to be lifted up, looked like a perfect area to work in.
Yeah, and I guess that's interesting in the sense that actually we have a lot of people on the show who, I mean, literally the first thing they did is their $1 billion idea, right? But you'd done enough time so you had the kind of compounding effect of being abroad, bit of engineering, that all accrues to this, right?
It all accrues, it expands your options, and it makes you a far more mature person in terms of sort of culture you want to create. So unlike many young people who start their business, they learn as they evolve.
Yeah.
In my case, it's more of saying that, you know, that how can I use the experience I've had.
Okay, so you've sort of teed this whole thing up, but how on earth did you get it going? How did you do it with someone? How did you find the money?
Yeah. Around 2013-14 is when we started working on this idea. And Vikram was my co-founder at that time. He has moved on to a new initiative. Vikram and I made a very good team. He was all about the field activity, sales, etc. And I was all about the planning, making sure that funds came in, making sure that processes were set, automation was done. But that is the easy part. The difficult part is to convince yourself that, yes, I can move from a salaried job, which I've done all my life, into something that is business on its own, etc. And that itself needs many things. It needs a lot strong conviction.
Yeah.
It needs a conviction which can overcome the naysayers.
Was it quite scary? Was it a period of doubt and pain in that?
Certainly, I think every time I spoke to many people in the industry, many of my friends in financial industry, everyone said that this was a very difficult initiative. And they said, don't do it because you're going to lose money. So you have to get over that and convince yourself, yes, it can be done.
Okay, but was it, just in a word before we move on and talk about the next bit of business, what made you do it? Is it that kind of inner steel and confidence that you had when you were 6 in Billai? Was that the key?
Yes, I would say a lot drives from that confidence that I know that if I put my head to it and I put my efforts behind it, there's a more than 50% chance of succeeding. And that is important because that is what gives you confidence that even if you're going against the grain,
yeah,
you can stand your ground and you can make it work.
Yeah.
And I think that confidence is important. Also is important happenstance or chance. You got to be in the right place. You got to get the right team.
Yeah.
So many things work together and to create success.
Okay. Shall we move out and in the next section talk about the right team and the right model?
Sure, Jasper. Let's.
Okay, Sanjay, we're gonna get into people and culture and the model and money. But before we do that, 1,000 crore raised, active loan book of 700,000 customers, more than 300 physical branches, 5,500 teammates. I mean, could you ever have imagined that?
Jasper, honestly, this is like I'm living my dream.
Yeah.
Even if we had done 1/3 this, I would have been overjoyed.
Yeah.
So we've done well. And this is all a people's business. Service is all about people. So we are very fortunate that we have a large team of more than 5,500 people. And I think they belong to this organization. They enjoy the culture that has been built in the organization. And there's a lot of work that we have done in building that culture.
Well, okay, before we get into that, right, just staying on the map, he's heavy right brain, right? How naturally does the interpersonal, emotional side come to you?
Honestly speaking, Jasper, the people side does not come as naturally to me as the numbers side or the planning side. But one has to work on it.
Yeah.
If you are self-aware that that is one area that you need to develop, then you do develop it.
Did you have that, did you have that self-awareness when you were 30?
I think it's around that time that awareness did come.
Okay.
I was given a job which was a completely staff job or a people job of building quality culture in an organization.
Yeah.
This is the first time I realized that my success depended on my team, not about how bright I was, but how the team delivered. And from that point in the mid-30s in my career, I changed and I put in a lot of effort behind saying that how to create that team culture, how to encourage people, what is it that people want. Looked at various things like Gallup poll says that you have to appreciate your people twice in a fortnight. Today, if you ask the team here, they will say that Sanjay is someone who recognizes and appreciates far too often than most of the leaders.
It is an excellent experience working directly under Sanjay. The professional that he is and the rich background and experience that he brings onto the table is something that all employees at iFinance can learn from. The leadership style, the ownership he allows people to take and deliver their respective responsibilities has been something that has proved the best working methodology in this organization, and that has just ensured that people contribute to the success of this organization.
If you've got this gift and you have a quantitative gift, you can easily just become a professor in Stanford and sit with your other professors. But it's interesting, you're an active learner, right? You're still hungry to learn as a person.
Oh yes, I think there's learning for everyone. And learning comes from various ways, from real experiences, sometimes reading books on management. But I think there is a need to evolve and get better at every stage.
People, right? So 5,500 people. How have you thought about cultures? I mean, culture and value. You use this term admiration. Tell us what that means.
Jasper, in a vision statement, we said that we want to be a company that is admired by its stakeholders. And we deliberately use the word admired because we can become very large. You can say we will be the most profitable company. But admiration means that employees should say that we love to work here, we had a great experience here. The customer should say that this is a great company, it does exactly what I need or delivers what I need. And investors should say that, yes, this is a great company to invest in. The society should say it's a good company. And we have delivered on all of them. If I quickly say that what are the markers to that? For people, we have been a great place to work. We are rated among the top 10. We've been the #1 rated NBFC in the last 3 or 4 years. So people clearly rate us well, our employees. And that is extremely satisfying because I do want my employees to say that this is an organization that has taught us something, it has moved us ahead in our career.
So the work culture at iFinance is more of effective and productivity basis rather than on a timely basis, wherein they give you a space wherein you need to do a task in a way which you are more comfortable and the productivity would be effective.
On the face of it, you're kind of selling money, but actually you're kind of selling love. Maybe that's a
Happiness.
Yeah, happiness, enablement, all that. Okay, it's about enablement, it's about goodness. But let's get into the weeds of the offer. So, back in your day, right, the average lending officer in HSBC or whoever it was would take one look at. I think your first customer was a shoe seller in
Agra.
In Agra. So back in the day, people would have taken a look at a shoe seller in Agra, looking for a couple of lakhs, and said, "Take a hike."
Yeah, I think that is the mindset that had to be changed. And the way we went about is to break this job into bits that people could do. In the end, we are trying to assess the willingness of the customer to pay and the ability. Now, ability is a big thing, and since there are no documents to go by, no bank statements to look at, we said that for a type of business, let's say shoe making business, what are the markers that tell you what sort of volume is being produced? So it's the number of employees who are there, the amount of electricity bill that is being paid, it could be the area that they are in. And some of these markers then give you a clear indication of the range in which the sales volume must be. We understand the margins in that business, so we could come to a number. And therefore, the loan officer was told that when you look into your app, it's a shoemaker. These are the 5 questions to ask.
Yeah, and presumably because you've been growing during an explosion in technology, you've brought to bear a ton of technologies on this.
Yes, I think we have brought in a lot of technology. We've learned a lot of things. Data science is one clear example where some of the things that we used to do by hard work of finding out how much inventory is there or how much what the scale of the business is. Today, a simple photograph of a grocery store tells us what is the density of display, what is the area of the shop, which road is it, GPS markers can give you that. And the data model, which is the machine learning model, actually can predict what sort of income the customer is likely to have.
Okay. In the next section, we've got a good bit of a grip on you and the business. In the next section, we're going to talk about India.
Sorry.
Right? You're a huge, interesting lens for India. And we want to talk about you.
Sure.
What do you say, shall we?
Yes.
Lead us out, sir. Sanjay, you're a son of India. You stayed when others skedoodled. You've got 35 years under your belt here. You enable hundreds of thousands of businesses. But do you actually like doing business in India?
Just doing business in India is difficult. It's not as easy as in many other countries. But the need for the business like us is very acute in India and probably as acute as it can be anywhere in the world. So it may be a difficult job, but having achieved something of a success in this is itself a reward enough. It's a big reward.
Yeah. And I suppose on one level, people often forget this. On the supply side, the opportunity needs to exist, right? If you were in the middle of Russia, it might not exist.
Yes, to that extent, I feel very fortunate that this is the opportunity that presented itself, gave me the opportunity to express myself, and the fact that we have a great team that has delivered to what that vision was is itself wonderful.
My firm belief is that iFinance will remain a pioneer. When we started our business, nobody else was doing what we do. There are 60 million such enterprises in India, and we have lent to 1% of that. So the opportunity is big. And even today, I don't see a competition really able to do what we do. So I expect iFinance to remain profitable, competitive, and at the same time making a huge social impact.
Well, I guess it's interesting listening to you because you're sort of able to be generous, right? Is that partly because you feel like you've got enough? Because some people I see hunting for money, they've got tons of it, they keep hunting.
Yeah, I think in that respect, I feel that I have enough. Money is an important thing in life, but not the primary driver for me. Money lets me do things. Lets me invest into an idea that I wanted to pursue. So I think money has its own value. But in the end, if you do something well, money normally follows. And that's what we've seen in iFinance, that it is well regarded as a success. To me, the bigger joy is in the fact that I want to see people feel good about their careers in iFinance. I want my customers to say that, wow, something positive was done to me. That is what I think I started this work with.
Okay, so let's stay on that, right? This fulfillment is coming through. But I've spent hours researching you. I can find not one single thing about the non-work Sanjay. Tell us a bit about that. Are you all work or?
No, Jasper. In fact, I have huge number of hobbies, and one of my grouse is that I don't find time to pursue those hobbies. I'm very fond of music, and whether it's Indian classical music or jazz music or even light Bollywood music, I can spend hours listening to music, and that's a passion. Also, I'm fond of fine arts, especially painting. And just a few years back, before I started iFinance, I started painting, and I realized that I have some aptitude for it. So painting is another big hobby.
Well, you know what? I've been with you for 2 hours, which is nothing. But I'm going to remember you for lots of those things, so I don't doubt everyone else will. What about this school?
Yes, the school idea, while it has taken a backseat, in some ways I could say, or maybe I'm just rationalizing it, saying that we do teach our customers how to do better business, how to improve the quality of their products, how to market better. So in a way, I am passing that learning not to school children, but to the micro enterprises who are like school children in the world of finance. Also, there's a lot of learning for the team here. Many of them are very young people who have just joined the first organization, and there's a lot of learning for them to understand how financial world works. But maybe with opportunity, there might be a school. And my vision in the 40s, when I was in my 40s, I thought that there'll be a school with 10,000 children who will cater to the underprivileged children. Maybe that is yet to come.
Fingers crossed. I mean, I have two reflections on this. One is clearly you're in a position now to do more than 10 lakhs and more than one school. And I like what you said about here, because my reflection on this discussion, Sanjay, is, as you say, this is a school by another name, and you're a man that hasn't stopped learning, right?
I learn along with them.
Yeah.
Certainly. I think life is all about improving yourself, getting better.
Yeah.
And there is no scale where you can say that I've done enough.
Yeah. You know what? You're a genuinely inspirational man. I don't often say this on the show, but we wish you every bit of luck with this beautiful thing that you've built, with your fantastic, young, dynamic team, with the inspiration of a man kind of our age. You can still do it. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for the kind words.
We're delighted to have you. Should we go and finish off with some informal quick-fire questions?
Certainly, why not?
Some quick-fire questions, Sanjay?
Sure.
Maths or music?
Music.
IIM or IIT?
IIT, without doubts.
Big company or startup?
Startup.
Family or business?
Family.
And finally, taking inspiration from Lord Vishnu, forging or carpentry?
Carpentry.
Sanjay Sharma, we're so delighted to meet you. This is a brilliant business. Thank you so much for being on $1 Billion Idea.
Thank you, Jasper. Thank you for having me on the show.
Closing fast on 1 million customers, more than $120 million raised, and no doubt many happy shareholders. But the big meaning for me of what Sanjay Sharma and iFinance have created is the potential to unleash the millions and millions of small business owners and entrepreneurs, and this truly is his $1 billion idea. I'm Jasper Reid, and join me next time for more extraordinary business stories.